What's up, y'all? I'm coming with a story time video, and I just kind of want to retract back a little bit. I think in my intro video I didn't mention my daughter's name, but I know I put pictures up, two pictures up of her. One was a picture of my husband, myself, and her, and then it was a picture, an actual picture by herself, of her. And I think in the video I was saying something about I was going to have story time about the pregnancy with my son, but I actually put pictures up of her. So that was actually pictures of my daughter. I just forgot to mention her in my intro video. And I just want to go back and let you guys know about that. But this story time is about my baby girl. Her name was Brooklyn Marie Rucker. She passed away May 14th of 2013. So I found out I was pregnant somewhere in 2012. Just a little bit about my pregnancy. She was a trip. She was a firecracker. She was stubborn. She was active. She was just something else. She probably would have been a lot like my son, but a little bit wilder. Like I said, she was a very active. When I say she was stubborn, when I had my doctor appointments, they like to get measurements, and they want to see the chambers of the heart, and they want the baby to lay a certain way, so they would like move my stomach a little bit, or they'll say cough, so see if she'll move. Well, at the time we didn't know what she was, but see if the baby will move, so the baby can be positioned right, so they can do whatever they needed to do. No, she wouldn't do it. She was just like, don't bother me. I'm in my mommy's tummy. I'm trying to relax. She was she was funny. She was funny. Even, I can't remember the name of them, but like the little monitors that get the baby heartbeat, she would literally, it seemed like she would be like running away from the monitors. Like when they would put one on my stomach exactly where she is, and you'll hear the heartbeat for a couple minutes, and then boom, she gone. So they would have to keep coming in and trying to move it around to get a consistent heartbeat for this little girl. So she was just, she was a handful, and she wasn't even like in the world. Just to fast forward, January 2013, I was put on bed rest. I did have a short cervix, and that was my very first pregnancy, so I had a short cervix with her. And I actually had a short cervix with all of my kids. This is crazy, because I had short cervix with her, my son, and now with this child I have that's in my belly now. I had a lot of cravings, nothing really specific. Whatever I wanted that day, I wanted it now. Like that commercial, I want my money and I need it now. Yeah, like if I wanted a grapefruit, I want it, and I want it right now. So that's how I was. I didn't have anything specific that I really wanted to eat. Just whatever day it was, however the sun was shining, that's what it was. And sorry if y'all keep seeing me look down. I do have a couple notes here because it was a while ago, and it's a lot that went on, and you got to kind of bring back some of the memories of what happened. So when she was born, no, we're gonna go back. So March of 2013, actually on my husband's birthday, we found out the gender. We found out she was a girl. So we got her middle name from my niece, which her middle name is Marie. So that's where we got our daughter's middle name from. And then we had like a book of names, of a bunch of names. So that's where we got Brooklyn from. And that's how we came up with her name. So she passed away May 14th, 2013. We did have a baby shower. We had one scheduled, but we didn't have one. I want to say the baby shower was like a week or two before I was due. And I did it like that because I didn't want to come home, to a bunch of stuff and anything would have happened to her. And I believe that was nobody but God. So I don't think our baby shower was until like June or July. I can't remember when she was actually due, the actual due date. But I was 30 weeks pregnant. I can't remember the days, and I was in my third trimester. She was 2 pounds 5 ounces, 15 inches long, and I don't see. I should say she was birthed, not really born, but she was birthed at 8:06 p.m. And that was definitely one of the hardest days of my life ever. And it took me a long time to even talk about her and not have a bunch of emotions and start crying and everything and get out of control. So I really do thank God for that. So I remember that Sunday, which was May the 11th, I was having some pains in my stomach, and I'm thinking, okay, it might be preterm labor. So come, I think either that Monday or Tuesday, which was either the 12th or the 13th, I can't remember because, it was just some memories you just try to suppress. But I believe it was the 12th or 13th. I remember calling my mom and my dad and was like, hey, what y'all think I should do? My husband already said, I think you should go to the emergency room. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be that one that's always running to the ER whenever it's something little, that's going on. So they, kind of talked me into going to the emergency room. So that day I remember my mom had to go to work, and I remember it was really, really early in the morning, and my husband had to go to work also. And so my dad came to pick me up, and he had my mom van at the time, and it had to be in between 6 and 7 o'clock that I got to the hospital, to the actual hospital that I was going to actually have her at. And we got up to triage and everything. I didn't wait in the emergency room part for long. They got me up in triage, and they automatically started putting little monitors on your belly so they can, find the heartbeat. And, they really wasn't getting anything. And I wasn't really worried at that point because I knew how Brooklyn was. And she will always, run from the monitors or whatever. She wouldn't really stay in one specific place so they can get a heartbeat. So I didn't think none of it. I wasn't worried about it. I didn't, at this point I'm just laying there, seeing if they can get a heartbeat. So they come in with an ultrasound machine, and the lady come in. It's just me and my dad. And, she trying to find the baby. She's trying to find a heartbeat. She found the baby, but she didn't find a heartbeat, but she didn't tell me that. She said, well, let me go get my boss and, let's see what she says. That's all she said to me. And I believe that God know exactly who you need at the time. My dad is a very cool, laid back, keep your composure type of guy, and he can calm you down, because me, my mom, and my sister, we're very hysterical. My husband is a lot like my dad, real cool, calm, laid back, hey, T, it's okay. That's how they are. So I believe God, kind of orchestrated that for my dad to be able to take me, because I believe if it was anybody else, I don't know. I just don't know. But I'm grateful that my dad did go with me at that time. So her boss came down. She did the same thing that the lady did. But at the time, it was like a roll-in little ultrasound machine. And I couldn't see the screen. So so she did it for maybe 5 to 7 minutes trying to get a heartbeat. And she stopped. She wiped the little thing off that has the gel on it, that they put on your stomach. And she says to me, man, we can't find a heartbeat. Because I'm looking up at the ceiling. So when she says that to me, I look at her, and with a blank stare, I just look at her, and she said, ma'am, did you hear what I said? We can't find a heartbeat. So then that's when I started screaming, crying, I was just very hysterical. Like it was horrible. And so my dad automatically was like, I need to call Jordan and let him know what's going on. So I don't know what was going on with the hospital phone at the time. Like, I don't remember. In the hospital with cell phones, you get service here and there. So my dad kind of had to like walk out the room a little bit to, call my husband. So, he ended up calling my husband. And I had my phone beside me. And I ended up calling my mom. And my mom, she drives school buses, been driving them for years. And I just called my mom, and all I said was, Mom, Brooklyn is dead. And she was like, what? And I said, Brooklyn is dead. Oh, that's all I remember. And I don't know if I hung up on her. She hung up on me. I think she ended up calling my sister. And my sister came up to the hospital because she lived like around the corner, down the street around the corner from the hospital that we were at. And I know she told me later on, she was over the walkie was saying, if somebody got to go come get this bus, my daughter at the hospital, the baby died, y'all, somebody better come get this bus. Because where she was kind of close to the hospital I was at also. She was like, somebody better come get this bus. I got to go to this hospital. So, by the grace of God, she made it back to the garage where, the bus is supposed to be at. And she went ahead, my husband went ahead, he left work, went to go pick my mom up, and then they headed to the hospital. And I just remembered, I didn't want to see my husband. You have a lot of emotions and feelings, especially as being a woman and carrying a child that you are supposed to be able to protect and protect this child that's inside of you, because this is your body. You take care of your body. And so while you are taking care of your body, you are able to take care of that child that's inside you. Now, mind you, I'm 30 weeks pregnant. So, I was kind of out of the miscarriage stage. So at this point, it's really my body that's working to, make sure the baby gets what it needs. So that was a hard part, and I thought he would love me no more. I thought he, would blame it on me that we lost the baby. Of course, that was total opposite, and I believe that was just the enemy's playing tricks with me. But that's where I was at that point. So they had got a hospital room. They had got a labor and delivery room, was getting it ready for me. And they had me come up triage, and when you come out the room of triage, on your right hand side there's like an exit door, and then on your left, that's where all of the labor and delivery rooms are. The reaction, when some people react to certain things and make you do stuff that you was like, why would I do that? And I can remember telling my dad, because it was my dad and a nurse, her name was Miss Judy. I said, Dad, they not taking my baby. And so I kept like falling on the floor to make it harder for them to get me to the room. And I kept falling on the floor. There was more nurses coming. So I was like, I get up and walk. I would get up and walk. I got up and I went right. Remember I told y'all the exit door was to my right. I got up and I like sprinted to the exit door. And, they caught me. It was just, it's something that when you listen to it, or when I think back on it, it's like something out of a movie. Like I was running to the exit door trying to escape, and then they come and they grab me and take me into labor and delivery room, because I don't know what it is, but when the baby's body start breaking down and all of the elements of the baby and everything, something can get into the mother where it can kill her. So they was really pressed for time because they didn't know how long, Brooklyn was deceased. So got into the labor delivery room. I did not lay in the hospital bed. I actually laid on the couch, and my face was like towards the back of the couch, so my back was to the door where you walk in at. So I just remember my sister saying to me that I had a blank stare, like I just looked like I was just dead, or like I didn't look like me. She said my face was pale, just a bunch of stuff. So finally they got me in the bed, and I can't remember if my mom was in the room yet or not. But I believe my husband probably dropped my mom off, because I remember her coming in the room first. And so I finally got in the hospital bed. They wheeled me down to where the big ultrasound machine was. And I think that was more, that was a better machine than the wheeled in one they had in triage, to make sure, that the baby was really gone. So I got wheeled downstairs, and I remember my husband walking in the room, and that's when I bust out crying again. I didn't look at him. I kept looking at the screen for the ultrasound machine, because all them emotions came back with he's gonna hate me, he's not gonna love me, he's gonna blame it on me. And that wasn't the case. He came in, he cradled me, he rubbed my head, he loved me, like just whatever I needed, he did it. And you can tell when people was crying, they don't cry in your face, and I believe I really needed that at that time. I believe I needed that, period. I didn't need nobody coming in crying in my face, because that they wanted to keep me calm. So after that, they confirmed that they didn't get a heartbeat. She wasn't breathing. They wheeled me back up to the labor and delivery room, and that's when they came and talked to me. I remember everything. They came and talked to me, and they were basically saying they want to start Pitocin to get the labor started, and they want to soften my cervix. And so they started Pitocin to get my labor started, and they had me, I can't remember the medication they had me on, but I can like just press this button, and so I won't feel the contractions. But I remember waking up every now and then, because I was like in and out of it. And I remember waking up, I would wake up and I would just look, because it was like my mom, my dad, my husband. It was like a bunch of people in the room, but I would just remember them. And I would just look at them and say, my baby dead. And I would just lay back down, and I would just go back to sleep. And every time I would wake up, I would cry and say, my baby is dead. And if y'all see me cry, it's because I'm pregnant. I'm very emotional with this pregnancy. But I would just constantly wake up and say, my baby is dead. And it was, my mom and sister, they was just telling me like it was just a bunch of people in and out the room came to visit. I remember my bishop coming, my pastor, and they came and prayed and everything. And it was just a lot. It was a lot going on. So this is the first part of this story time, and I will have part 2, and that will be coming very, very soon here. And I'll show you, part 2 will be the rest of the story, and there will be a lot of you know, the things that the hospital gave me, and any documents that I have of her. Thank you so much for watching.